Pardon?
Ibrahim Bbossa is my name. I'm the Assistant-Commissioner for Public and Corporate Affairs at the Uganda Revenue Authority. And today we have met a cross-section of leaders in Lira, basically district leadership, the political leadership in the district, the administrative leadership, business leaders, civil society, security leaders, basically to discuss issues of domestic revenue mobilization. This one is spearheaded by the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, whereby they are detailing the measures the country is undertaking to be able to collect more to finance our national budget. As the Uganda Revenue Authority, we are at the center of the domestic revenue mobilization, and we also undertake a critical aspect of tax education and awareness. So people need to be aware, people need to be educated if we are going to collect more taxes. And we are being able to highlight to the individuals that there are things that we need to pay attention to, which include the registration on the tax register for individuals if people are going to make a fair contribution of taxes from their earnings. We're also showing people the importance for us to grow our tax to GDP ratio. If we're going to achieve the Vision 2040, you find that our tax to GDP ratio has been stagnating over the last 10 years, between 11 and 13%, and this cannot take us to middle income or even Vision 2040. If we see the developed countries that are around the world and even our neighboring countries that are doing well, people are collecting over 16%. So Uganda has a target to collect 20% of their GDP, of our GDP in terms of taxes, but this has to come with some form of awareness. People need to understand what is being put in place, and people need to understand what their responsibility is, just as much as what the responsibility of the government is. So the discussion here was basically to detail to the leaders on the domestic revenue mobilization strategy of the country. This is going to be taken to the grassroots, whereby we're going to educate the masses, we're going to motivate the masses, and there are a lot of issues that the leaders put forward for us to be able to work on so that we increase the compliance to taxation. Issues like the physical social contract, where we're supposed to be able to show more of what taxes do in this country. People need to see what their taxes are doing, and which was a very good concern. People had issues on the working methodologies of the Uganda Revenue Authority, the way we enforce, the way we do assessment, and there are areas and room for improvement in that area, which we think was a good observation. People, of course, had a lot of concern about some physical infrastructure that is not yet happening, and they need to get answers for this. And I think that is a very good way to discuss these kind of matters. So at the end of the day, we are optimistic that if people understand what the journey to salvaging this economy's for we getting economic freedom in this country by paying a little bit of more taxes of what only is allowable. We do it transparently as a revenue mobilizer. We are accountable for what we have collected. We handle issues of integrity. We handle issues of professionalism, the way we work. We think we can be able to collect enough for us to be able to finance the national budget.
We see Lira is one of the cities that contribute a lot and in ranking number 4, but they see like the service is not nearer to them. What do you have to say about this?
I think that is an interesting concern, but to give it in perspective, the actual figures, if you look within the Uganda Revenue Authority, last year we collected 9 billion Uganda shillings from Lira in terms of taxes. If you look at the year before, we collected about 8 billion in terms of taxes. But if you see the consumption of Lira, of funds from the central government, Lira consumed a little over 50 billion last year. So already you see that even Lira alone probably does not pay enough taxes just to finance their own service delivery as a district. This is not only unique to Lira, it is also the same to many other districts. And because we know also that in Uganda, about 70% or up to 70% of taxes are collected within the central district, Kampala and the suburbs. You get me? So it is not that we do not have people who have income to pay taxes, but we need to be able to educate people, people to formalize their businesses or their transactions, for them to be paying that small bit so that if everybody is making a contribution, the rates for taxes can even go lower, because we have seen it with other countries. The more people pay taxes, you can then afford to have low rates of taxes, and it is more convenient for people to comply with taxes. So we think that with what we are doing right now, we can actually be able to collect more taxes if everybody is paying a fair share of taxes in Lira, and Lira should be able to get more portion of what is owed to them to develop the city, to provide service delivery. So we think that it is a journey. We are not yet there as a country,